Welcome back to the Wheel Sails with the Wheel Reads. Yeah, so we're on Chesapeake. There's Ian coming down to do some sailing again. Today was one of those days that it was rainy and everyone decided that it was too foggy and too rainy to go sailing. But you know what? We're kind of crazy, so we're gonna go sailing anyway. Yeah, we'll sail in the rain. So I apologize, my lens does get a little bit full of raindrops throughout this video just because obviously, it's raining and that's what happens. And I should have had a cloth and wiped it off, but you know what? Whatever. So we're going to go ahead and cast the lines off right here, and I will steer the boat out of the dock. I don't think I've ever shown this to you guys before. So we do use the motor from time to time. Mostly just to dock the boat or to leave the slip or to come back in. Here I put it in gear, put it in reverse. Sometimes I'm the one who takes it out. Sometimes Ty, the big guy in red, he's the one to take it out. Just all depends on who's at the tiller or who's at the wheel. I guess it's a tiller on this boat. So I know I'm going back and forth here, trying to watch that finger pier sticking out, making sure I don't slam into it. It's actually not too hard to miss it, but you still have to go back and forth, making sure I'm not hitting anything. Yeah, so let me get another shot of Ian there and his foul weather gear. I have my foul weather gear as well. Some people just have tops, just wearing regular shorts. I'm actually wearing both tops and bottoms, so we call them Fowlies for short. It's foul weather gear, Gore-Tex, designed for offshore and designed to keep you dry. So that's the idea, at least. So just gonna go ahead and head out of the harbor here. We motored around for a bit. Weren't sure if anybody else was gonna come out, so here we are, just kind of sailing around the channel or motoring around the channel, trying to figure out, it's foggy out there, it's rainy. Should we actually go put the sails up or not, or should we just go cruise around and drink a little bit in the rain? It's kind of miserable. So we were kind of right here debating, do we stay out here? And normally you can see across. Right now it's so foggy. The visibility was really, really poor. Just to show you how bad it was. In this scene you can see another sailboat. So yeah, someone decided to come out and join us. So we decided to catch up, see who it is. So now there's another boat out there. At this point we had decided to go back in, but once we saw another boat, we're like, hey, maybe we'll just go race them. And so I get close, see who it is, see if it's someone that we want to race, or if it's someone that's just a cruiser maybe, and not even racing, just someone shipping out to head out somewhere else. But as we get closer, we realize we definitely know who this boat is. And this boat is our good friends. And wait for it. It's Fat Bottom Girl. Yeah, the boat I sailed on the last few videos. So, of course, we told Bobby, the owner of Fat Bottom Girl, hey, we'll give you a head start. You go ahead and get ahead of us. We'll take our sweet time getting our sails up, and we'll come join you for a little bit of racing. There was only 5 of us on the boat. Everyone decided to go home, so we were definitely short-handed. But that's okay. I had to go right up there and raise the sails up. So here's me hoisting the mainsail. This does weigh a ton when it's wet. Even without being wet, it's still a heavy sail. It's a big sail, so it takes a lot of strength to get the thing up, but it goes up pretty smoothly. Of course, whoever tied the sail ties on the boom there and tied the sail down beforehand had tied knots in them. So a couple times I have to stop on the way up so they can untie them. Because normally you have slip ties or slip knots, so you can just sit there and pop them off real fast so you can raise the sail fast. But someone decided to tie knots. Yeah, I'm not sure who it is. Whoever owns up to it's going to get an earful though, because you don't tie knots there. Yeah, you can see they have to untie them, and then we can go the rest of the way with the sail. So the guy on the other side, you can see him peeking through. What he's doing is he's feeding it into the mast there as I'm hauling the thing up. Use a bow method, so we pull it out like you're pulling a bowstring. That way you get a lot more leverage, and then feed it to the person in the back and pit that's taking up the tail of the rope. So get that. Go ahead and lock that off, and our main is up. Of course, we're short-handed, so I had to turn around then and raise up our front sail, called the jib. We used the storm jib. It's our smallest jib we have. The reason being is because there were some storms around, and we were light-handed, so a smaller sail just makes it easier. So that's the reason. A couple of things here. You'll see me hoist the sail. One thing you'll notice is I'll switch my hands position so my pinky's going first. The reason why sometimes you do this, I go back and forth once I realize there's not much tension on it. But whenever I start, I usually start with that method of raising. Because if a wind gust comes and I get pulled back up and my thumb is in the front, it can get sucked right back up in there and I can lose the thumb. But the pinky, there's not much to suck up in there. It'll hit the back of your hand and it's not going to suck up in there. Your thumb will. And that's not a good thing. So now all the sails are up. I go to the back of the boat, get what's called the check stays. These are these lines right here. I have to pop this off. This lets the sail go out. When that's in, the sail can't go out because it's in the way. And what that does is that affects the bend in the mast. I can probably do a whole video just on that later about what all the different lines do on the boat. Those are called check stays. They run back to either back corners of the boat. And when the sail's out, you can see it kind of hanging there droopy. On the other side, it's tight. And we'll go back and forth with those depending on what side of the boat the sail's on. So I'll explain that more probably in a later video because I don't have much time in this video to really explain how check stays work. It works with the backstay, which is that cable that runs to the very, very center of the back of the boat. As we're sailing up here, we come to the top mark and round the mark pretty close. Yeah. We usually cut them pretty close anyways. And we look over back home, and lo and behold, there is a big storm coming. So we sit there and look at it for a second and say, like, hey, guys, see that? Yeah? You see that? Wait. Yeah, that's a storm. So should we sail into it? Well, we make the decision. Well, there's no way running away from it. Sometimes you just got to face the music and go into the storm. So here we just buttoned down and went straight into it. So, why not? We sailed through plenty of storms before. I didn't see any water spouts or tornadoes, so just looks like a normal storm. We have a small storm sail up anyway. Even though we're light on crew, we could handle it. I wasn't too worried about the storm right here. But as we go around also, you can see everybody was kind of easing everything out. We're letting sails out. We're going a little bit downwind, chasing into the storm. It was a little bit in front of us, so the wind's actually coming from the left side, coming across, not so much from behind us. So we thought also that it might blow past before we get there. But of course, when you go into a storm, what do? You sing. That's what you do. Yeah.
With a drunken sailor, what do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Hey,
and that's it for today. Like I said, it wasn't too much. We just had one other boat out there. Here's us catching Bobby. We did end up catching him at the very end. But as you can tell from the raindrops, it was wet. It's kind of miserable. We all looked like drowned rats by the end. But still had fun. Rain doesn't usually scare us away, although it does scare a lot of the sailors away. Just because we have so many fair weather sailors at the yacht club, especially for Wednesday nights. So that's all I got for this week. So until next time, peace.